Hi, my name is Gavin Herman, and I am a video editor and creative educator. And in this tutorial, I am going to show how I edit videos like this one, where you have someone talking to one or multiple cameras, which is perfect for social media, course creation, and so much more. Throughout the tutorial, we will cover the color grading process, adding depth to your shot, skin smoothing, masking out subjects, reducing noise, adding B-roll, and then we'll even turn this into a short form video for socials, and use AI to add captions to it. So let's dive in. Today we are working in DaVinci Resolve because of its professional color workflows and AI effects that run locally instead of relying on the cloud. So they really take advantage of the RTX 5060 GPU that I will be using. As you can see, I already imported two camera angles shooting 4K in S-Log3 422 10-bit, so we have a ton of color information to work with. And the nice thing about the new NVIDIA 50 series GPUs is they now have 422 10-bit support. So we can handle professional footage like this with no stuttering, even with multiple nodes and AI effects added. So the first thing we are doing here is syncing our video clips with the audio that we recorded on a separate clip. And we're doing this with DaVinci's built-in auto align, which synchronizes your clips almost immediately using their waveforms. Then let's get rid of the video layer that we don't need, as well as the bad audio tracks, and we will only keep the audio track that is crisp and clear. Next, I like to just trim the beginning and the end so that we have our starting point, where we're actually starting the video, and our ending point whenever I stop talking. And when you're cutting footage together, your best friend will be shortcuts. So for example, if I want to delete everything before the playhead, then I use the shortcut Control-Shift-Left bracket, and that saves me a ton of time in the cutting process. And you can delete everything to the right of the playhead with Control-Shift-Right bracket. So now that we've cleaned up and defined the start and end of our video, we can come into the color page. And here we can see our two different clips and toggle the different video tracks on and off as we are working with each one. So let's start with the main video track. And I always like to begin with a start node and an end node. And the purpose of these nodes is to convert the color space of your footage. So here's what I mean by this. The start node should transform your footage from your log footage or whatever type of footage it is into DaVinci Wide Gamut. And we do this because DaVinci Wide Gamut is a huge color space to work in. And so we have the most flexibility when we are doing our color grading. And you might notice that this is still kind of gray after adding this, and this is where the end node comes into play, because we're going to convert from DaVinci Wide Gamut into Rec 709, which will be our final output. And any node in between the start and end node is where we will be adding all of the effects. So after we have our start and end node, I like to add another node for color correction. And basically this will be for fixing the highlights, the shadows, and the white balance of our shot. Then we can add a bunch of other nodes. So for this look specifically, I've added a film look node, a depth map node, a defocus background node, a halation node, and a beauty node, because I've already mapped out how I want this to look, and this will keep everything organized. So starting with our color correction, I usually like to start with the skin tones. So to make sure you get your skin tones right, you can come to your vector scope down here in the bottom right, and then make sure you turn on your skin tone indicator. And this line basically just shows you where your skin tones should be lying. So according to this, these skin tones right now are pretty good, and we can see that on both angles, it already looks pretty good. Now, one thing I did notice is that the side angle could use a bit more warmth. So I'm just going to up the temperature on it, which brings it closer to that top left on our vector scope and makes the side angle look a little bit closer to what the main angle looks like. And because I shot these two angles with different cameras and different lenses, the color is slightly off on each, so that's why we're doing this. And now that we've fixed up the skin, let's go to the waveform. And this will help us determine the brightness and the shadows in our image. And so I usually try to match this up between the two angles as well. You can adjust the gain to lower or raise your highlights. And then the lift is more for adjusting your shadows in your image. And then gamma is to adjust the midtones. So I'm just going to go through here, upping the highlights as well as lowering the shadows, so we have a little bit more contrast. And I think it looks a little bit more dramatic now, which is a look that I personally like. Now that I've done that on one angle, let's just make sure that it matches on the other angle as well using the lift and gain wheels. So we've corrected the white balance and the temperature, and we've matched our two shots. So now I want to add a film look creator effect onto the next node. And this is just because I really like the look of it. It makes it look a lot more dramatic and defined, which I think is a really cool look. And generally the only settings that I play with on this effect are the film look blend, so I make it a lot more subtle, and then also the split tone, just so you can have a little bit more control over the look. But you also want to make sure to turn off the grain, the flicker, and the gain weave, because if you don't, then it will look like old school film, which isn't necessarily bad, it's just not the look that we're going for here. And of course, after applying this look to the main angle, we need to apply it to the side angle as well. And I'm noticing the side angle could use a little bit more warmth, so I'm gonna up the temperature by 10 here. Now here's where we can get really creative with this shot. For the next node, let's use an effect called AI Depth Map, and then adjust the settings so that we're selecting the subject in the shot and leaving the background unselected. This should be good. Then we can add a defocus background effect to the next layer, and we need to make sure we click this little blue thing, click, hold, and drag, and bring it over to the blue square on the left side of this next node. And this will apply the alpha mask of the previous node to our next node, which is the defocus background layer. And this makes it so that the defocus background effect only applies to the background and not to the subject. And so now that we have this effect, we can adjust the blur, and we can also adjust the colors. So I'm gonna make the background a little bit more warm so that it looks like that light in the background is emitting more light than it actually is, or just that we have some light coming into the room from above, maybe a skylight, and I think that is a cool look. And these are the kinds of effects that really lean on the GPU, and I'm using an RTX 5060, but on any of the NVIDIA RTX 50 series GPUs, DaVinci can push through the AI depth map, the defocus, the beauty tools, and more in real time or close to real time, so you're not stuck caching every tiny change just to see what your grade looks like, which is really nice. Now the next effect we're going to apply is halation, and it's not necessary, but I wanted to make the highlighted areas of this video, or the parts where there's a little bit of glow, I wanted to really emphasize the glow in those areas, and so that's where the halation effect is really helpful. And you can make that glow look stronger and wider as well. So it's a really cool effect. And to top it off, I'm going to add the beauty effect. Because my skin is not flawless, there's a lot of bumps, wrinkles, and so we want to smooth that out. And so as you can see, it made the skin a lot smoother, but you might notice that it smooths out pretty much your whole scene. And so what we're gonna do here is use that AI depth map that we created earlier and parent that blue alpha mask to this node that we applied the beauty layer to. And so this will apply the beauty effect only to the selected subject. And same with all the other nodes, we can copy it and paste it over to our side angle as well. And that is all we are going to do for the color grading. Now coming back to our cuts, we made cuts to the start and the end of our footage, but we haven't made cuts to the actual footage itself. So what I like to start with is the remove silence feature, which basically allows you to cut out all of the sections where you're not speaking, or where things get really quiet. And so you can set the threshold and customize it how you'd like, and then hit remove, and it will remove those silences automatically for you. So you don't have to manually go in and do it, which is a big pain. This is a pretty big time saver, and it prevents you from having to watch through those really slow sections where nothing is happening. Then we're just going to come in here and tighten all of these cuts. And as you can see towards the end here, we have this issue where I look to the side before I finish my sentence. And so we need to add something called an L cut here. And that's where the video ends early and the audio continues after. And then we just drag over the video from the next angle, and if we play it back, it looks seamless. And everything is still running really smoothly. If things start to slow down for you, you might need to toggle off the color because a lot of those effects, especially the ones that we just applied, are really heavy effects. So it might slow down the playback a little bit. But for day-to-day editing, the RTX GPUs keep normal cuts, trims, and multicam playback feeling really responsive. And finally, we're going to come in here and choose the angle that we want to be showing for each line that is spoken. So I'm going to disable certain layers on the top here so that you can see the bottom layer, which is the main angle. And this just adds some nice variation, and I think it increases the engagement of your videos. So now we have a professional talking head video for a horizontal social media platform like YouTube, for example, or a documentary video or a course. But what if you want to turn this video into a short form format? So going from a 16:9 aspect ratio to a 9:16. Well, check this out. I'm gonna duplicate the timeline and rename it as a short form timeline. And then all we gotta do is right click and go to our timeline settings and click this Use Vertical Resolution checkbox. We'll confirm that, and now we have a timeline in a vertical format. But there is one small issue. It's that the subject on the side angle isn't centered. And even on the main angle, it's not quite in the center either. But luckily, all we have to do is come up to the inspector and use something called AI Smart Reframe. And this will basically use AI to track your subject and put it in the center of your frame and keep it there as the video plays. So we can use that for all of the bottom layers, which is our main angle, and that will center them. And then we can do it to the top layers. And if you want, you can also just apply this to a single clip. And if you do that, then you can set a reference point, which might make the selection a little bit more accurate for you as well. So here I'm going to use a reference point, and this turned out really good. But for the rest of the side angle clips, I'm just going to group them together and do what we did for the main angle, and just let the AI reframe it for us. And to be honest, it's pretty much the exact same result as when I used the reference point. And it looks great as we're switching between the different angles. The eye level is pretty much identical, which is really important, and everything is in the center, so everything looks great. Now, pretty much every short form video you see nowadays has subtitles. So let's come up to the timeline, go to AI tools, and create subtitles from audio. Then I usually like to set the minimum of 15 characters per frame, go with that. And then when you create the subtitles, it will create a subtitle track for you above the other video tracks with all of your subtitles on it. And if you select all of the subtitles here, you can change what each layer says on it. So if it doesn't say the right thing, or something is spelled wrong, or you just want to switch around the position, then you can change it here. And so here at the start, I want to switch around the timing of the words. And so by doing this, I can change these words, and it's really easy to just do that right here. Then you can also adjust the position, the scale of the text, the color, pretty much whatever you want. And if we want animated subtitles, we can also come up to effects up here in the top left and just drag one of the templated animated subtitles onto our subtitle layer, and it will apply to the text. But for now, I'm just going to stick with this custom text that I made here. So now that we have that, we can come to the Deliver tab when we want to export this video, and just make sure to check the export subtitle setting. And I'm going to select Burn into Video here, just so we have the subtitles directly on our video, and we can render this out. And it takes a little bit of time. And then we have our final video ready to post on short form social platforms. Now this is all already really good for a professional talking head video, whether it's a course, social media, or something else. But a lot of times you'll want to add B-roll over top your footage. So here I filmed some B-roll, and this B-roll is decent, but we can make it a lot better. So this second shot here is pretty noisy. So I'm going to apply a noise reduction effect to it. And as you can see, this knocks out the noise in the shot pretty quickly. And this is another effect that gets a huge speed boost from the RTX GPU, because all that denoising is happening on the tensor cores instead of on your CPU. Now I also want to select my arms and the camera and separate that from the background. So we're going to use something called AI Magic Mask. And with this, I can drop pins on our footage to select a specific area. So we'll select our arms and the camera, and then I can render it forwards and render it backwards. And it will track the motion of our selected subjects and isolate those subjects from the background so we can apply effects. So let's change the color on the background. So maybe we can add a little bit more pink and a little bit more blue to the background, just to give a little bit more life to the shot here. And I think that looks pretty good. And when you add B-roll to your talking head video, it just adds another level of engagement for the viewer. Whether you're explaining complex topics or just want to visually demonstrate something, it helps the viewer follow along. So now we have a completed product, and much like the short form videos, we can come to the deliver page here and export this horizontal long form video. When you get to this stage, the NVIDIA encoder kicks in as well, because the latest NVIDIA RTX GPUs have dedicated hardware for AV1 and HEVC, so your final exports are both faster and higher quality compared to doing it all on the CPU. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and picked up a few ideas for improving your own talking head videos with DaVinci Resolve using NVIDIA RTX.